Hello everyone, this is Wrestling Watcher here, a YouTube channel. It's about watching professional wrestling. So, MFT, My Family Tree. That is the name of the new, and I'm going to use the word new because it's just a different name from the Bloodline, of the new faction that is led by Solo Sikoa. The members are Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, JC Mateo, and Tala Tonga, previously known as Hikuleo. Now this is a rebranding of the Bloodline. Now, it's a new faction. I'll say it's a new faction, new members, but it's the Bloodline rebranded, and it's called MFT, and it stands for My Family Tree. Now here's the thing. They arguably should have done this after WrestleMania 40, when Solo Sikoa took control of the original Bloodline and started adding family members to it. And maybe it would have worked out differently. I think it's a great idea on Triple H's part. And I know a lot of people aren't happy with Triple H's booking right now. There's some people who think it's kind of weak and that there are mistakes being made. But this is something I agree with. Solo Sikoa was really losing steam there. You know, after losing that War Games match, his version of the Bloodline last year, after losing on the next Netflix debut to Roman Reigns, the rise of Jacob Fatu into what I consider a bona fide main eventer, because that's where he's going, and everyone knows he has that skill. You know, Solo Sikoa really was losing steam there. You know, he was booked throughout 2024, in my opinion, as the sort of top heel. The top heel bad guy, you know, the boss sort of thing, but he never really got pushed fully into that position with a title reign or anything. Now with this, he's U.S. champion, so it's his first singles title reign. He's got his own faction, like he did last year, but it's a new name. It's not, hey, I'm taking over Roman Reigns' faction. It's, this is my faction. This is Solo Sikoa's. And I think another interesting point is, you know, you got Tonga Loa, you got JC Mateo, you got Tala Tonga, right? Well, that opens up the possibility for Tama Tonga, who's still out right now, to come back and join the group after helping Solo Sikoa. So I think there's room for another member. Now, what I am surprised about, and I don't know, and I kind of get it, because maybe you wanted Jacob Fatu to get revenge, but the tag team main event of SmackDown saw Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu take on JC Mateo and Solo Sikoa. And it was your typical sort of tag team main event put together, like you've seen 1,000 times, right? Thousands of times. I'm really surprised Jacob Fatu beat Solo. I'm surprised it was booked for Solo to lose. I thought Jacob Fatu would get a win, get some heat put back on him after, you know, losing that U.S. title to Solo at Night of Champions, but they had him beat Solo. I thought that was interesting. I don't know if I would have done that. And then you saw the post-match beatdown of Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso by the MFT. I'm not sure if it's the MFT or just plain old MFT. I'm going to say the MFT for now. And they looked strong. They all stood together. They were strong. And I don't think I can't remember. I don't think Solo defends against Jacob at Saturday night's main event. They might make that match. I feel like that's a SummerSlam match, and that would be where Tama Tonga returns to help Solo Sikoa retain. And, you know, where it goes from here, we don't know. I think you want to, you know, this is why I'm surprised they had Solo Sikoa lose, because if you're going to eventually put him in the world title scene again and make him a bona fide world title contender, he's got to put wins together, and he's got to start looking dominant. You know, a couple of years ago, they had him face Cena in one of the Saudi Arabia shows. I think it was in November. And they had Solo look really dominant. Multiple Samoan spikes, multiple just devastating spikes, and he pins Cena in a dominating fashion. made to look strong, unstoppable. But then he went on for months losing. He lost a lot of matches just losing to Cody and LA Knight, and he was that, heel jobber of the bloodline since, you couldn't beat Roman. It was Solo that took the losses, and then, Roman loses at WrestleMania 40 and Solo takes control. And he gets some wins and they look dominant, but never fully pulling the trigger, It was like we're gonna push you, but we're not gonna push you too hard. And then Jacob Fatu comes in, and Solo lost momentum, and now they're trying to rebuild it with this MFT and this U.S. title reign. Now they have Jacob beat Solo in a main event on SmackDown, which you wonder what's gonna happen here. You wonder where it's headed. And you think, logically speaking, Jacob Fatu is eventually going to defeat Solo for that U.S. title. He's eventually going to regain it. That's pro wrestling logic, right? But man, if I'm booking, Solo Sikoa is going on a tear right now, and he's going to start Samoan spiking everyone, and he's going to look dominant, and he's going to look like a force of nature, because when Jacob Fatu retakes that U.S. title, you want it to really mean something to where they're both at that main event level, in my opinion. That's how I'm booking it. Another thing to come out of this is, look, I like JC Mateo. I believe he worked previously in AEW in Japan as Jeff Cobb. I believe that was his name. And he was in better shape then. He's a little bit bigger now, but his athleticism is still there and great. But, when Tama Tonga comes back, and you have the three brothers, presuming Tama Tonga rejoins Solo, and you have the three brothers in the group, that would be Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Tala Tonga. I would really love to see those three just win six-man tag team matches for like 6 months to a year. Just dominant six-man person wins to establish all three of them, or just to give all of them some extra steam. But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, MFT, My Family Tree. It's Solo Sikoa's faction, and it's finally his turn, I think. And hopefully they build upon it. That's all for this one, guys. Thank you.